My beloved child, you did not find this message by accident. I brought you here because I see the weight you carry, the battles no one else knows you're fighting. You've been feeling tired, lost, maybe even forgotten. But I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to say could change everything. Before this message ends, I will speak to the deepest part of your soul, the part that's been crying out for love, for peace, for purpose. And if you leave too soon, you may miss the very answer you've been praying for. So don't scroll, don't click away. This is your divine appointment. I have a word just for you, and your heart knows it's time. Stay until the very end, and I will remind you just how deeply you are known, how endlessly you are loved, and how powerfully your life is about to change. Now the season of silence has ended. What was hidden will be unveiled. What was delayed will be accelerated. This is not merely a small change, but a powerful transfer from heaven itself. You have felt it in your spirit, like a subtle intuition, a quiet stirring in the air. And today, I confirm what you have quietly suspected. It was not your imagination. It was not desperate hope from a weary heart. It was me, drawing near with a plan etched into eternity before you were even formed in your mother's womb. My messenger, the one whose name you have never known, yet whose nearness once made your soul tremble, is approaching. Not dazzling like the stars, but gentle like the wind brushing your forehead as you lie in prayerful exhaustion. That messenger carries a sacred memorandum sealed in the throne room of heaven, a divine scroll containing promises you thought had died with time, dreams you buried beneath sorrow and surrender, and all the impossibles the world poured into your ears. You once questioned whether I remembered the words I had spoken. You once said, "Perhaps I heard wrong. Perhaps it was only the foolish hope of a fragile heart." But I, the faithful and unchanging one, have never forgotten. Not one word from my mouth falls to the ground without bearing fruit. And today you will begin to see the first sprouts of the seeds I planted long ago in your spirit. This is not merely personal fulfillment. This is the awakening of destiny. This is the moment when I piece you back together. Every shattered dream, every fractured relationship, every missed opportunity, and transform them into a revelatory masterpiece, where my will is displayed through the very chaos you once endured. Nothing that has passed was in vain. The time you waited, the days you thought were meaningless, have in fact been the foundation I needed to write a new chapter that no force in existence can now prevent. You believed my silence was rejection, but in truth, it was when I was working the hardest in the unseen realm. When every door seemed to close, I was not punishing you. I was guiding you to the one door I would open, the one that no man can shut. When you were pushed to the margins, that was when I was drawing you into the very center of my divine purpose. Now you will begin to see the pieces coming together. A coincidence you once dismissed will become a key. A dream you've had repeatedly will become a sign. A person you thought was a stranger will walk in as the messenger I appointed from the very beginning. They will not come merely to deliver what you need. They will awaken what you've forgotten you carry within you. A fire, a crown, a destiny. My child, do not tremble anymore. Do not doubt the path I am laying before you. Let what is old fall away like the autumn leaves preparing the earth for new life. Do not cling to memories that no longer carry breath or purpose, for I am doing a new thing. I am opening a road right in the middle of the wilderness. I am causing rivers to flow through dry and barren lands. What once seemed desolate within you shall spring forth with freshness and abundance. And when you begin to see things shift, remember, it is not by your strength. It is the fruit of a promise I have never retracted. It is the seal of my faithfulness, which only I can fulfill in its entirety. Everything will unfold swiftly, suddenly, but not chaotically. I am the Lord of order. Every step, every person, every circumstance is under my sovereign control. And that messenger, he has not been sent to rescue a mere chapter of your life, but to fulfill the sacred covenant between you and me. He is ready. The angels are no longer standing still. The sacred silence that cloaked the heavens in recent days has been pierced by a stirring from eternity. In the highest realms where light never fades, there's the sound of movement, not of birds' wings, but of angelic hosts clothed in flames. Among them stands one at the forefront, majestic and mighty, Archangel Michael. He is no longer silent. His voice now resounds throughout the heavens. His wings have swept across the spiritual realms at the speed of light, and the sword in his hand, forged in the fires of righteousness, is now glowing with an intensity of spiritual tension never before seen. He has not come to observe. He has been dispatched with a specific command from my very throne. Yes, his mission is not directed toward a nation, a people, or a great battle on a crowded field, but toward one individual, and that person is you. This very morning, while the sun still slumbered beneath the horizon, your name was declared in my throne room, not in hushed tones, but in a resounding cry, in the affirmation of a heaven stirred with urgency over your destiny. It was not by chance. It was not coincidence. It was not because you prayed at the right time or because someone happened to mention your name. It is because I, the Lord your God, who never forgets, have appointed this very day as the moment heaven would respond to your condition with decisive action. You have not been abandoned in delay. You have not been overlooked among millions of other pleas. On the contrary, your condition, every hidden tear, every unspeakable ache, every silent battle within you has been laid before me, and I, the one who holds all creation in my hand, have determined that the waiting has reached its fullness. Now is the time for action. Michael has received my command, and when an archangel moves, the spirit realm shakes. When he draws his sword, the forces of darkness tremble. When he approaches, truth is revealed and destinies are reset. He does not come empty-handed. He carries this message, my word for you, as an inseparable part of his assignment. No one can hinder his steps, for this is no longer a personal matter. It is a matter of spiritual strategy. Your soul is entering a territory appointed by heaven, and therefore, the entire force of divine light is being summoned to shield you on this journey. Do you know, my child, that there are things in the spiritual realm which have been restrained for far too long, waiting only for my nod of approval? And today, I have spoken, go. I did not merely issue a command, I came alongside it. When Michael arrives, it is also the moment I reach out my hand to hold the part of your heart that has begun to collapse. When he acts, it is also when I reestablish justice on your behalf, in the very places where you were misunderstood, rejected, and deceived by those you trusted most. I have seen it all, and now I am setting the scales right. My child, prepare your spirit for the visitation that is drawing near. This is not merely an angel sent to bless. It is a warrior of light sent to liberate, to free you from every silent curse that has surrounded you unknowingly, to release you from every delay that did not come from me, to break you loose from every toxic tie that once held your soul captive in the shadows. The presence of Michael is a reminder that no force can stand against what I have initiated, and if I have begun it in you, I will also bring it to completion. Do not fear if you feel unworthy. Do not be confused if the scars still remain. I did not choose you because you were perfect. I chose you because I love you, because you are an irreplaceable part of the divine design I am weaving across generations. And because you carry that role, you will not fight alone. Michael has not only come to deliver a message, He has come to fight for you, to cover you, to dismantle the schemes of the enemy, to carve out a path where there seemed to be none. My beloved, stand firm. Do not look at what your eyes can see. Listen instead to the voice of mine that stirs within your heart. This is the hour when your soul must hear louder than your logic, believe deeper than your past experience, and walk more steadily than ever before. For I, the Lord your God, am moving on your behalf, and when I move, nothing can remain the same. Heavenly arrangements are aligning all at once. A new gate is about to open. New people are about to enter. Old burdens are about to fall away, and the confirmation from heaven is drawing closer than ever before. Not merely through words, but through actions, through power, through the manifestation of my very presence in the story of your life. This is a sacred moment. Do not miss it. My child, know this. In these past days, while everything may have seemed still, while you thought nothing was shifting, heaven has been busy in motion. Movements have been set in motion in the spiritual realm. Movements that cannot be seen with the naked eye, but are sending ripples through the currents of your destiny. These are not ordinary movements. These are sacred shifts. Movements that signal a deep and divine transition. An ancient scroll has been unsealed, not a scroll of men, but a book guarded in the treasury of heaven, where the eternal plans for every beloved soul are recorded. And in that book, there is a record that bears your name, a detailed account of every step you've taken, every tear you've shed, every word you've whispered in loneliness, and even every unspoken thought that I have clearly heard within your heart. That record had once been sealed, not because you were forgotten, but because all things must unfold in their appointed time. There are revelations that can only be entrusted when the Spirit has matured enough to receive them. There are promises that can only be unlocked after you have passed through the gates of sorrow and learned to walk not for success, but in obedience. Now that appointed moment has come. Heaven has unsealed the record of your life, and light from my throne is now shining upon the pages once buried beneath the dust of time. Nothing remains hidden anymore. The plans once cloaked in the shadow of waiting are now being revealed, line by line, beam by beam, through the unfolding of divine revelation. Do you remember, my child, those prayers you whispered in the days of your youth, when your faith was innocent and your hope, though naive, was genuine? Those nights when you bowed your head in the darkness, speaking softly to me things no one else could hear? You thought I didn't listen, or perhaps that I listened and then moved on. But no, every word you spoke was recorded. Not a single phrase, not a single sob, not even your quietest whisper of, "God help me," was overlooked. I didn't just remember them. I cherished them like sacred jewels, stored within the treasure chambers of my heart. And now I am beginning to open that treasure. I am allowing light to pierce through the veil that has lingered for years. The things you tried to forget, the dreams you thought you abandoned, the goals you once burned because of exhaustion, I am bringing them back, not to wound you, but to restore you, to show you that nothing you ever surrendered to me was wasted. Everything you laid down, thinking it had lost its worth, is precisely what I am reviving now, supernaturally and more perfectly than you ever expected. You don't have to dig through your past by memory, because I myself will remind you through the Holy Spirit. I will walk with you into each chamber of memory, not to force you to relive the pain, but to reveal how my hand has been marking every phase of your journey. You will begin to recall moments that once seemed random, but now you will understand. Heaven was preparing. I was laying foundations, I was planting seeds then, so you could enter harvest now. Beloved child, get ready, for what was hidden will no longer be concealed. The broken pieces will come together. The questions that used to torment your soul will be answered, not just with words, but through unmistakable acts from the heavenly realm. You will witness divine coincidences, people from your past returning, doors opening unexpectedly, and old prophecies being spoken again through unfamiliar voices. None of these are mere chance. This is the unfolding of your decoded destiny. This is restoration arriving from the most unexpected place, from me, the giver of life and light. I am not reopening your file just to read it. I am reopening it to rewrite it. What the enemy tried to erase from your story, I am rewriting with my own hand. The opportunities you thought were forever lost, I am resurrecting by the power of my promise. But more than that, I am enlarging the borders of your blessing. You will not only recover what was taken, but you will inherit a portion that is more complete, more refined, and far more glorious. Do not be surprised if something within you starts to feel different. Do not be afraid if you find yourself weeping without understanding why. It is your soul recognizing a divine moment. Do not ignore it if your heart begins to stir, because that is the echo of sacred memory calling back to the vows you once made to me in your most honest moments. And now all of that is returning, not for judgment, but for fulfillment. Open your heart, receive. Let my spirit guide you into the reopened room, where what you thought was too late is actually right on time. This is not an isolated moment. This is the beginning of a sequence of revelations. In the days ahead, more pieces will be brought to light, layers of truth will unfold, long-hidden secrets will be revealed, not to scare you, but to heal you, restore you, and re-equip you. For I am the Lord your God, who is never late. I am not bound by time, and if I have written a beginning, then I have already prepared a glorious end. Today I speak to you. Prepare yourself for a season of irreversible revelation, for the old is being stripped away, and you are about to walk into a new chapter, a place where truth shines, grace overflows, and promises breathe with life within your very own story. Beloved child, the messenger I have sent to you does not resemble the image your finite human imagination might conjure. They do not wear a glittering robe, nor do they knock with flesh and bone hands like an ordinary visitor. They do not arrive in radiant appearance to capture your gaze, nor do they carry a gift wrapped with ribbons to help you easily recognize them. No, the coming of this messenger transcends all familiar forms, for they are not sent from the earth, but from a command issued in heaven. They do not act by their own will, but move entirely within the wise orchestration of mine. You will not be able to anticipate their arrival the way one prepares for an appointment. This encounter will come like a sudden surprise, but not a coincidence. Every detail has been written in advance. Every step, every word, every glance, and even those seemingly meaningless moments in which your soul stirs without explanation. That is when the divine begins to invade the ordinary. That is when the unseen realm starts touching the visible world. And that is the sign, the messenger is near. Do not wait for confirmation through logic. Do not force yourself to comprehend everything I am doing. For this messenger does not come to satisfy your reasoning. They come to shake, to unlock, to awaken. And the first sign you will feel is peace that surpasses all understanding. Not a peace manufactured by man, but a holy stillness that calms the storms within your soul in an instant. It will require no explanation. You will know. Your soul will know, because it is a response from me. And not only peace, you will receive confirmation, not through spoken words from their mouth, but through what unfolds the moment they enter your life. Doors once sealed will suddenly open. That which you prayed for in secret will be mentioned by someone who had no way of knowing. A seemingly random situation will pivot into a destiny-altering event that no amount of human effort could have orchestrated. That is me at work. That is heaven intervening. The presence of the messenger will be accompanied by a holy trembling, not to frighten you, but to move you out of the comfort zones that have become cages. A shaking to break down the unconscious barriers you've erected around your calling. A shaking that brings you to a crossroads, a place from which you can no longer live as you did before, a place where the old falls away and a new chapter is established by my hand. You will not recognize the messenger by appearance, for I have not chosen to reveal the sacred through external form. I choose to reveal through the movements within you, through the undeniable shifts in the spiritual atmosphere around you. When they arrive, you will not need to check their name. You will verify it with your heart, and the Holy Spirit within you will testify, this is the one that was promised. The messenger brings not only the answer, but the key that unlocks the spiritual treasure you were promised but never knew how to access. They come not to take space, but to activate, to awaken forgotten dreams, to reignite faith that had grown cold, to restart prophecies you had shelved because the wait was too long. They do not come to live your life for you, but to remind you of who you are in me. And once that messenger appears, everything around you will begin to shift. People who no longer align with your purpose will drift away. Places that once felt safe will suddenly feel confining. New dreams will awaken within you, and even those who stand in opposition will begin to reveal themselves. Do not be afraid. Do not question why peace now comes with disturbance. For I am stirring the waters so that you can no longer remain in delay. I am shaking the ground because I love you, and I will not allow stagnation to rot the noble destiny I have planted in your heart. The arrival of the messenger is also a divine alarm. There is no more time for hesitation. From this moment on, every second carries eternal weight. You must no longer retreat. Do not compromise with things I never ordained. Do not close your heart to the new just because you fear being hurt. I have shielded you from what was not from me, and now I will thrust you into the very center of what is. Every coincidence is a divine orchestration. Every encounter carries meaning, and every door will open only when you dare to walk forward in faith. My beloved child, I say to you, open your heart, be sensitive in spirit, pray without ceasing, so your soul may stand firm in the stream of revelation about to pour forth. Know this, not everyone who comes close is a messenger, but when the true messenger arrives, you will know. For I will bear witness to that one through the transformation that takes place within you and all around you. And once you receive them, once you step into the spiritual unity I have prepared, nothing will be the same again. You are about to enter a new season, not just a season of better things, but a season of things that were declared before the foundation of the world. And the appearance of the messenger is the final confirmation that what I promised, I will perform. What I wrote, I will complete. What I began, no one can stop. And what I love, no power can separate. I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and heaven and earth must move at the sound of my voice. So, my child, be courageous, listen closely, move forward, for the one I have sent is drawing near. And when that person arrives, every hidden thing will be brought into light. Every tangled knot will be undone, and every door you've long awaited will swing wide open in the brilliance of my glory. I see clearly what you are facing. I am not indifferent to the chaos that surrounds you. I am not idle in the face of the invisible assaults that come against your soul, silent yet fierce. Perhaps right now you feel like a lone warrior in an unseen battle, where the noise does not reach your ears, but resounds in the spiritual realm like a deep, unending roar. That noise is not just external confusion, but the deception of wandering spirits trying to breach the holy territory you are protecting. There are words spoken half-heartedly, gestures disguised as concern, yet dripping with manipulation. There are faces you once trusted that now feel distant, treating you as a threat rather than as beloved. This is no accident. You are not only surrounded by people, but by forces that are using people as tools to distort truth and unsettle your spiritual direction. There are those who, long ago, sensed something shifting around you, though they cannot name it. In the spirit realm, they feel the clear emergence of a new light. They do not see it with carnal eyes, but their trained, darkened spiritual senses detect the glow breaking through the shadow. They look into your spiritual atmosphere, where I am enlarging my influence, where I am covering you with grace, where I have set up invisible fences of protection. And because they cannot penetrate the light head-on, they choose covert warfare. They do not confront you directly, but murmur in insinuations. They do not use swords, but slander. Not attacks, but cold stares. Not confrontation, but two-faced smiles and behaviors laced with hidden intentions. They speak words that sound righteous, but are poisoned to paralyze your faith. They pretend to be close, but their true aim is to fracture your focus. They do not want you looking at me. They want you to doubt yourself. Beloved child, this is not a product of imagination. It is not delusion, nor is it a result of oversensitivity. This is war, an invisible war waged not with swords and spears, but with sacred energy, a battle in which the enemy does not aim to strike your physical body, but to cloud your spiritual discernment, to confuse your mind, to disorient your soul, and to lead you away from my voice. There have been forces of darkness attempting to intercept the letters you have sent to me, your sincere prayers, your quiet pleas, your cries in the midnight hours. They have tried to divert the miracles that are on their way to you. They have built invisible barriers to make you question whether I truly hear you, whether help is really coming. They have sown seeds of abandonment to sever the sacred thread of unity between you and me. They have distorted conversations. They have made you hear what was never said, misinterpret what was truly meant, and believe lies disguised as truth. This is a distortion of reality, a cunning tactic the darkness has long used to throw my children off course. And when you begin to doubt yourself, mistrust the righteous, and waver in the clarity of my plans, they know their arrow has struck the soul. But I say to you now, this is the moment when you must stand firmer than ever. This is the season when what is unseen bears more weight than what your eyes can perceive. This is the time for you to learn to discern, not merely with intellect, but with my spirit. Not everyone who appears kind is sent by me. Not every sweet word carries life. Not every touch brings healing. Some hands carry poison beneath a sugary veil. Some smiles conceal deception, and some closeness is not love. It is surveillance and destruction in disguise. Yet fear not, for I foresaw this. I did not permit you to walk into this season without my watchful guard. Archangel Michael has not come merely to deliver good news, but to command the heavenly host assigned to guard your soul. He is standing in the blind spots where your eyes cannot reach. He is wielding his divine sword to sever hidden cords of bondage, the darkness wrapped around you without your awareness. I will not allow your miracle to be hijacked. I am restoring it to its rightful path, and I will not let the enemy steal what I have ordained for you. Though they have used false words, deceitful behavior, and an atmosphere of suspicion to try to stop your revival, I am the one who overturns the schemes of hell. I am the one who returns what was thought lost with multiplied power. It is within this chaos that I am separating those who are truly mine from those who are not. It is in this testing that you will see clearly what is genuine and what is counterfeit. Walk on in peace. Stay alert in spirit. Do not react from emotion, but let my spirit guide you step by step. Let me teach you how to be silent and still win. how to love without compromising truth, how to trust without being deceived. And you will see, when the storm has passed, when the curtain falls, when every mask drops to the ground, what remains will be me. You are standing on the edge of a spiritual climax, and because of that, the darkness has grown more desperate than ever. But I am the light that never fades, and you are standing within that light. Do not turn back. Do not slow your steps. Do not let the noise around you silence the call within. Let your heart remain steadfast in me, for a new season is coming, a season that no one can steal from your hands, because I, the Lord your God, have sealed it with my own name. My beloved child, even in your weakest moment, when your spirit trembles under the weight of doubt and pain, when you sit in the darkness of your room feeling abandoned, there is one who watches, not only I, the Most High, who sees you from the throne of glory, but also Archangel Michael, the foremost warrior of the heavenly hosts, stands guard at the gates of your life. Even when you sleep, when you no longer have the strength to pray, when your soul is too weary to do anything but sigh in silence, Michael, the angel who wields the flaming sword of righteousness, remains at your doorstep, unmoving. He does not slumber. He does not hesitate. He does not grow weary. His sword burns with fire, tracing a protective circle around your dwelling, allowing no shadow to cross its threshold. And this is not merely an act of protection. It is a divine declaration. Nothing can touch what the Lord has appointed. I have commanded the wind, not the ordinary wind, but the wind of revelation, the wind of the Holy Spirit, to carry this confirmation to your soul. You do not need to wait for another sign from people. I am the one who gives signs. I am the one who causes heaven to tremble, the earth to shift, and your soul to awaken. The wind will sweep through your spirit, tearing through the veil of doubt and pain, reaching the deepest part of you, the place where you once believed, once hoped, once loved me with childlike wonder. No weapon, whether forged in the depths of hell or disguised in poisoned whispers, can stop what is coming to you. I am not merely sending a miracle. I am sending a new essence, a chapter unwritten, drawing nearer each day, and no one can stand in its way. No delay, be it cloaked in anxiety, betrayal, or unfortunate circumstance, can bind what is flying toward you. My word is not subject to time. When I speak, heaven and earth must obey. When I appoint, every opposing force must retreat. Perhaps right now you feel like a fragment, too broken, too disheartened, too small in the whirlwind of things you cannot control. Perhaps you look at yourself and silently ask, how could I ever be worthy of a miracle? How could I receive something so great from heaven when my heart is tangled, my faith is fragile, and my life is far from perfect? But my beloved, I do not seek perfection. I have never loved you for your strength. I love you because you are mine. The miracle I am about to perform does not demand perfect faith. It does not require that you understand the fullness of heaven's plan. It is not based on your worthiness, but on my faithfulness. The miracle springs from an unchanging love, initiated by grace and carried out by my sovereign hand. You do not need to understand everything that is happening. You only need to open your heart, even just a small crack, so that I may breathe new life into the withered places. You do not need eloquent words. Be real. Speak even through trembling lips, for I do not reject the honest heart. I do not turn away my children who are still wrestling between light and shadow. I come to lift you up, not to condemn you. I come to heal, not to judge. Let me unveil the veil of doubt that has covered your soul. Let my light seep into those hidden corners where you thought no one had enough patience to reach. I am not afraid of your brokenness. I do not flinch in the face of your doubts. On the contrary, I love your scars because they are proof that you have fought, that you have tried, and that somehow you've managed to preserve enough faith to read these words. Michael is not standing there idly. In his hand is not only a sword, but also a divine confirmation, a sacred seal that you are stepping into the beginning of something miraculous. His presence is not meant to intimidate, but to reassure, a reassurance that no matter what storm rises around you, there is an army of heaven shielding you from the wind. No matter what enemy plots in the shadows, there is a declaration from heaven that says, "Do not touch this child. Listen, my beloved, not with your ears, but with your soul, not through logic, but through spiritual intuition. I am speaking what your heart has long suspected, but always hoped to be true. Let your defenses soften. Let your tears fall, not from despair, but because hope has begun to rise again. And when you've listened long enough, when you allow yourself to believe even just a little, I will unleash a wave of miracles that no force can stop. I, the Lord your God, who is speaking directly to your soul in this destined moment, declare this with power and mercy. The message you are hearing is not mere temporary comfort. It is a decree from heaven, a proclamation that alters destiny, a trumpet blast announcing that a divine shift has been initiated in the skies above you. This is not just another message. This is a summons, a confirmation I have tried to deliver to you many times before. But because of the thick fog of deception and manipulation, you could not clearly hear it. But this time, nothing will stand in your way, because I have shattered every barrier between you and the truth. The messenger I have sent to you does not arrive in noise or earthly glamour. They do not come with a title or human prestige. They come quietly, but they carry heavenly authority. They are not sent merely to comfort, but to illuminate, to bring not just a response, but a revealing of the part of my plan that I once withheld, because you were not yet ready. But today you have reached the maturity of your season, and I withhold nothing more. The answers will not come from those you once looked to. They will not come from the ones who promised help, but stepped back when you needed them most. Some of them, the very people you called friends, trusted with your secrets, leaned on in your weariness, already knew what you did not. They did not withhold by accident, but by intent. They were warned by the spiritual realm that your promotion was near, that heaven had marked you for elevation, and in their jealousy mixed with fear of being left behind, they acted in ways I never commanded. They smiled at you with their lips, but their hearts trembled at the light beginning to rise around your soul. They called you by name, as if with affection, but in secret chambers they bound your destiny with words, subtle whispers, veiled hints, phrases that seemed harmless but carried the power of delay. They uttered prayers aloud, yet their hearts were misaligned with my will. They skillfully redirected conversations to leave you confused about who you are, sowing doubt into what I had already spoken over you. Have you ever felt as though something that was meant to be yours kept slipping through your fingers? Have you ever seen doors that seemed ready to open suddenly slam shut without explanation? Have you ever entered a room with a heart full of hope, only to leave burdened more heavily than before? You thought it was your fault. You blamed yourself, doubted yourself, even diminished your own worth. But I say to you today, you were not wrong. You did not imagine it. You were not too sensitive. You were manipulated through a cunning and merciless form of spiritual warfare. Yet this is what I declare. The control is no longer in their hands. I am retrieving what they once stole from the spirit realm. I am reclaiming the information, the truth, the opportunities, and the miracles they withheld in the unseen. And what they once used to blind you will now become the very evidence that convicts them before my righteousness. They are losing control. Every hidden action is being dragged into the light. The conversations they believed no one would ever hear, I have heard them all. The schemes they devised in darkness, I have seen them clearly. And now my light is shining into every corner. Nothing can remain concealed any longer. This exposure is not meant to shame anyone, but to restore you, not for revenge, but for you to walk in true freedom. You are about to reclaim what rightfully belongs to you, and this time, no one will be able to stop it. I am sending divine messages through ways you never imagined. A phone call, a coincidence, a dream, a strange glance from someone you didn't expect. A stranger will say exactly what your soul needed to hear. The puzzle pieces will fall into place. The scattered facts will become clear. And in that moment, you will know, this is the word of the Lord. This is the truth that was once stolen from me. No more delay, no more hesitation, no more rumors clouding the truth. You will no longer be controlled by those who fear your light. Instead, you will rise in the very identity I chose for you, not because you demanded it, but because I ordained it before the foundation of the world. This is a spiritual transfer. This is a divine repositioning. This is a shift that no one can deny, and you, yes, you, are the one chosen to receive it, to walk in it, and to carry that light into the land once covered in lies. My child, prepare your heart, not to fight, but to receive, not to defend, but to enter a season of clarity. I will cause those who once manipulated you to witness your restoration. I will cause those who once denied you to witness an ascension no one can hinder. And it is in your silence that I will speak. It is in your stillness that I will move. Those who thought they could twist your destiny with mere words will tremble when they see me confirm you through action. I speak to you now in love and in power. Believe again. Rise, not in pride, but in steadfastness. Embrace the truth I am declaring, for once the truth is released, it will shatter every chain. And once you step into the light of this revelation, no force will have the power to keep you in darkness another moment. The grace period for those once allowed to walk beside you has now ended. Those whom you once welcomed into your spiritual space, whether out of kindness, out of loyalty, or simply because you had not yet seen their true essence, are no longer permitted to remain. Their presence, their words, and their influence are being revoked by me, not out of cruelty, but because I'm preparing something for you that is far too sacred, far too vast to be diluted by any soul who no longer vibrates on the same spiritual frequency. This separation is not a punishment, it is protection. It is the refining fire that clears the way for the weight of glory that is about to descend. My messenger will arrive, carrying with them a seal, a mark that cannot be dismissed, a holy confirmation that the old gates have been closed, and the access of certain people to your life has been officially revoked by an order from heaven itself. They will be given a choice to either honor the shift within you and step back with repentance and dignity, or to fall away entirely from the orbit of destiny that I am now activating around you. There will be no room for intermediates, no space for lukewarm alliances, and no tolerance for relationships built on half-truths and partial light. The time of blurring the lines is over. You must prepare not just with your hands, but with your soul, with your spirit, and with the sharpness of your spiritual discernment. It is time to cleanse the chambers of your inner life. Rid yourself of lingering doubts and dismantle every mental framework that has kept you tethered to lesser things. Shut the doors that have remained open for too long to those who no longer revere the sacred within you. Clear out the corners of your heart that you've left untouched for fear of being alone. Loneliness will no longer be your captor. It will become your sanctified threshold into deeper intimacy with me. For I tell you this, what is coming is no ordinary blessing. It is not a comfort offered to ease your temporary pain. It is not merely the answer to one prayer. What is coming is an inheritance, a divine portion of spiritual legacy, a crown of destiny, a heavenly establishment, that no demon can undo. You thought you were asking for something just enough to survive, a job, a door, a healing, a single provision. But I am preparing to give you more than you imagined. A transfer of kingdom authority, a holy positioning that cannot be explained by human logic. And because it is so weighty, so sacred, everything unworthy had to collapse. Not because you failed or lacked faith, but because it no longer fits the magnitude of the soul I have enlarged within you. You have outgrown old containers. The relationships that once brought comfort now feel like cages. The opportunities that once dazzled no longer shine with the same promise. The cycles you once endured with patience no longer have the power to bind you. You have matured. Your soul has expanded beyond the architecture of your past. You have endured fire. You have survived misrepresentation. You have stood when no one else stood with you. And because you remained faithful, I am calling you out of narrow places to place you upon higher ground, where your light will no longer be hidden, where your voice will reach those who hunger for truth, where every spiritual gift I placed within you will be activated to its full measure. But remember this, with every elevation comes separation. Not all who once loved you will celebrate what I am doing. Not all who once supported you will continue to walk with you. Some will slip away quietly, others will envy. Some will criticize and attempt to stain what they do not understand. But you do not need to defend yourself. I will be your voice. I will vindicate you through my hand, not merely through words. And once I have spoken, no one will be able to silence what I have declared. My messenger will not arrive alone. They will come accompanied by signs, divine patterns, prophetic dreams, and encounters that seem accidental but are undeniably orchestrated by me. You will know. Your soul will tremble, not with fear but with recognition. You will know that this is what your spirit has waited for your entire life, and no one can receive it in your place. No one can walk into your blessing on your behalf. This is yours by my design. So open the gates of your heart, purify the threshold of your spirit, burn away every lingering lie with the truth I am now unveiling. Do not grieve what I have caused to fall away. Do not cling to those whose time in your story has expired. Lift your eyes and look forward to the place where a new chapter is opening and your name is written in light. And when you step through that threshold, everything will change. No more confusion, no more delay, no more whispers that unsettle your heart. Only clarity, stability, and a deep conviction that this is what the Lord has long prepared for me, and now I am living in His faithfulness. I speak this not merely to encourage you, but to awaken you. Do not look back. Do not mourn what has crumbled. Do not dwell on those who have departed. For if you cling to what is old, you will have no room to receive what is new. And this new is not merely a gift. It is a divine appointment of spiritual authority, a position reserved only for those who have walked through fire without losing their faith. Therefore, my beloved one, prepare your house, ready your heart, be poised to receive what exceeds all expectation. I have chosen you, I have called you, and now I am establishing you. No one can stop it. No opposing voice can silence what has been declared from heaven. Your health, your mind, the dreams once buried by pain, and even the finances that seemed beyond repair. None of these shall be restored in a temporary way, but will be revived by my mighty hand, in such a way that everything within you will rise and shine stronger than ever before. What once ran dry will not merely be refilled, but will overflow beyond measure. For this is not a fleeting rescue, but a holy transition I have orchestrated since eternity, since the moment I saw you in the darkness and vowed that you would not fall into the abyss. The messenger I have sent, the one marked by heaven, is drawing near quietly, without fanfare or display. but in his hand is a flask of oil anointed by my very hand. This is no ordinary oil. It is the oil of supernatural restoration, of re-established calling, of reawakened destiny. This oil is not just to heal old wounds, but to anoint your head for a new journey. A journey where you will no longer wear the form of the broken, but the majesty of the chosen. You will no longer merely survive the day dragging yourself through barren seasons. You will live abundantly in the new life, abundant in faith, in strength, in mercy, and in spiritual wisdom. You will no longer rise only for yourself, but will become a refuge for souls seeking shelter in the storms of life. For the messenger I have sent does not come with healing alone. He comes with heaven's seal, declaring, "You have been restored to be sent." Do not think this is merely a reward for the pain you've endured. No, my child, I do not wish only to soothe your wounds. I desire to turn those very wounds into doors of power. Every time you thought you lost something, I was preserving something better for this very day. Every tear that fell was watering the ground for a harvest unlike any before. And now that season is drawing near. It is the season in which you will not only be lifted, but will be positioned among others to lift them in return. That oil will reach the deepest places in your soul, places untouched by human words, places unreachable by earthly hands. It will soften the areas that have become calloused by disappointment. It will soothe the places scorched by betrayal, and it will ignite light again in the corners you thought would remain in darkness forever. You will find yourself beginning to dream again, not with chaotic imagination, but with vision illuminated by my presence. And you will realize the messenger was not sent merely to lay the first brick of old dreams, but to build a new temple for the things I desire to birth from your very life. Every step they take declares what belongs to you. What the enemy once tried to steal has now been redeemed. Not only the visible things, but also the sacred and unseen, like peace, like the trust that had been worn thin, like the worth and dignity you once lost. This is the moment you must understand. Every healing you are receiving is not to bring you back to your old life, but to lead you into a new assignment. You are no longer one on the sidelines of the battle. You are being summoned to the center, and that oil poured directly from heaven will affirm that you are the carrier of the message, not because you are perfect, but because you stayed when others walked away, because you believed even when the path disappeared, because you wept and still clung to my promises. That messenger comes not wearing a crown of gold, but bearing a crown of the cross. They do not arrive to usher you into a comfortable throne, but to guide you into a place where faithfulness is honored. You will not be exalted to be served, but to bend low and wash the feet of those who once wounded you. That is where true power is revealed. That is where the wounded become healers, and you are one of them. You no longer need to prove anything. The fact that you're still standing amidst the ruins is testimony enough, recorded by angels in the heavenly scrolls. I have seen it, and I have ordained this day to proclaim, you are commissioned, not by the hands of men, but by the divine call of heaven, not because you begged for it, but because I have seen that the time has come. That messenger carrying oil prepared just for you will not be late, and when they reach you, you will know, not with your eyes, but with your heart, not with your mind, but with your spirit. And everything will change, because no one can touch oil from heaven and remain the same. No one can receive a heavenly commission and stay within old limitations. They may call you weak, they may call you a failure, they may say you are nothing, but I call you a bearer of the word, the gatekeeper, the chosen one. And now heaven and earth will agree and witness. So do not look back. Do not mourn what I have allowed to be released. Look forward, for the oil is being poured and the assignment is beginning. The messenger is drawing near, and in their hands is confirmation from my very throne. You are not just being healed, you are being positioned, not just to live, but to lead. Not just to survive, but to overcome. Not just to begin, but to finish what I have started in you. And I will walk with you until the very end. Those who once turned their backs on you, those who quietly excluded you from the current of opportunity, who assumed your story had ended, that your name would fade from this world like a forgotten whisper, will soon stand in silent awe. They will witness with their own eyes the unstoppable rising I have prepared for you, not as a means of vengeance, but as a testimony. What comes from me cannot be denied, and those I have chosen will never be left to languish in the shadow. You do not need to raise your voice to justify the calling placed upon your life, because my work will be the loudest voice on your behalf. It will speak through every step you take, through every life you touch and transform. Those who once despised you will be left speechless, for I will cause my glory to shine through the very fragments of your story that once seemed broken. This is no longer the season of delay. No longer will you sit in silence, tucked away in a lonely room, wondering whether the promise was truly for you or just a distant, unreachable dream. No, my beloved, the waiting has come to an end. Something sacred is erupting from the core of your destiny. A birthing is taking place, not in the physical sense, but a spiritual one. Like a seed that was once buried beneath layers of earth, now breaking open by the power of heaven itself. No one may have seen it happening from the outside, but I knew. I saw, and in this very moment, what has been carried in the womb of your spirit through a long, painful season is about to step into the light. The disruptions you've been sensing lately, the sudden shifts, broken relationships, doors closing without warning, are not random. They are divine interventions, a holy interruption sent by me to halt every motion in your life so that I might clear the path for something sacred that is about to move. You cannot enter the new season carrying the weight of the old. You cannot move forward with suspicion in your heart or burdens that were never yours to carry. So I allowed those things to fall away. Painful, yes, but necessary. For I did not create you to live in the in-between. I did not call you to linger on the sidelines. I chose you to become a living emblem of my redemptive power, a breathing testimony that what I raise up, no one can bury. That is why this message had to find you today. Not tomorrow, not some vague time in the future, but this very moment. Because this moment carries the weight of eternity. It is a divinely marked hour in the timeline of heaven, and you must not miss it. This is the threshold. If you step through it, you will not be the same. This is the moment. If you obey, it will activate every promise that has been hovering over your life, waiting to be released. You are not invisible to me. I have watched every breath. Every night you lay awake with unanswered questions. I have heard the whispers you made in the dark when no one else knew the battle you were in. And now, when everything around you seems quiet, I am speaking. Not in thunderous echoes, but in a whisper that pierces the soul. The time has come. Be ready, because what you once prayed for will no longer be postponed. What you thought had died, your dreams, your calling, your love, your purpose will come back to life, not merely to survive, but to triumph. Not just to touch glory, but to dwell in it fully. The enemy thought it had buried you, but it didn't realize you were not buried. You were planted. And just like a seed must break open in the silence of the soil, you too needed a season of hiddenness to be reshaped. But that season is over. And now, with my own hands, I will lift you out of the earth. You will not emerge empty-handed. You will rise wearing a crown, carrying heaven's endorsement with an unquenchable fire in your spirit. Those who once looked at you with pity will turn back to learn from you. for they will see me in every step you take. Do not be alarmed by the sudden shift. Do not be afraid of doors that are opening too quickly, for I am the one going before you, making a way through the wilderness, carving a path through the deep seas. Nothing catches me by surprise. What is happening today has already been written in eternity, and you are not walking alone. The messenger from heaven is near. Angels have been dispatched to guard you, to escort you into the very place that has always been destined for you. Be strong and courageous, my beloved. What is coming is a divine realignment of destiny. It is heaven's confirmation of the years you remained faithful when no one was watching. It is the reward for your endurance when no one stood by your side. It is the amen from above for every whispered yes you uttered through your tears. This is not just a new season. It is the birth of a new era in your life. A journey where every step you take will bear the mark of my hand, and nothing, no one, and no power of darkness can stop it. When I have spoken, go forth. The heavenly messenger is closer than you realize, not in the form you expected, not with blinding light or thundering sound, but in a way that is both subtle and powerful, only discernible to hearts that listen. They may come through a phone call that seems ordinary, but carries something that only you and I understand. It may be a handwritten letter, a single message, or even a piece of paper that falls by chance, yet holds the very message you've been waiting for. It could be a peculiar yet radiant dream that reveals exactly what you must do next, or a video that appears unsearched yet speaks directly to your heart as if it were written just for you. You will not need to doubt. You will not have to wrestle between logic and faith, for when it comes, your soul will recognize it with a clarity sharper than ever before. Every wounded place within you will resonate all at once. You may not know how to explain it, but to slice through every unseen barrier, to shatter the dark strategies of the enemy, and to dismantle every trap that had been laid in your path, so you may walk forward with confidence and safety. Every step you take now is guarded, but even within this heavenly secured realm, there is a powerful and silent weapon you must wield. Strategic silence in this season. You are not to cry out in defense of yourself. There is no need to explain or justify. It is not your words, but the steadiness of your spirit that will become the fortress shielding you. Speak less and listen more. Listen not only with your ears, but with your soul. For in the stillness, you will hear the words left unspoken, perceive the shift in a gaze, and see the details you once overlooked in the noise. Watch closely. Observe every action, every nuance, every subtle shift in the way others respond when the blessings begin to pour out upon your life. For your victory will not only reveal glory, it will also uncover truth. Not everyone rejoices when you rise. Not every smile is rooted in sincerity. Some hands clap only when you are beneath them, but fall silent the moment you begin to ascend. And some who stood by you in weakness will be the very ones who cannot bear the strength rising within you. They don't leave because you've changed. They leave because the light in you no longer gives their darkness a place to hide. This is why I did not rush to release every prayer you once cried out. You pleaded with me for love, for wealth, for position and recognition. You wept through countless nights wondering why your prayers remained suspended in the heavens. But now hear this truth. I did not hold back because you were unready. I withheld because those around you were unworthy to witness what I was about to give. Had I released those blessings at the wrong time, they would not have lifted you. They would have become a noose to pull you under. For some within your circle had quietly prepared not to guard what you received, but to sabotage it, to take it, even to destroy it from within. Be grateful for the delay, for it was in the waiting that I unveiled hidden hearts, the deception behind the eyes, the compliments laced with venom, the embraces not born from love, but from a subtle jealousy. I gave you time to see it all, and now it is your silence that becomes the sacred space where I will whisper divine strategies. I will show you truth in every conversation. I will open your eyes to see beyond the surface of your relationships. You need not hunt to discern who is friend or foe. Just be still, and I will cause each one to reveal themselves. Let congratulations reveal character. Watch how they speak of you in your absence. Let their actions speak louder than their words. For when I begin to pour out recognition, true wealth, genuine love, and heavenly gifts, you will no longer need to search for those worthy to walk with you. The very atmosphere around you will do the sifting. Some will retreat without warning. Some relationships will fracture without reason. Do not cling. Do not attempt to mend what I am allowing to dissolve. Only the circle that has been purified deserves to enter the place of glory you are now about to step into. You once thought that delayed blessing was a sign of rejection, but no, my beloved, it was a sign of protection. I love you too much to let you enter harvest surrounded by hearts that have not been tested. I know well who will stand with you in the light and who lurks in the shadows, waiting for your brightness to rise so they can strike. That is why I was slow. That is why I preserved you. That is why I allowed the events to quietly unfold, each one revealing what had long been hidden. And you have seen what you never imagined. Even you are surprised by the revelations. Now I am preparing to unfold the very things you once only dreamed of. But this time you will not enter them as one who wanders in a haze. You will step in as one who has been trained, like a warrior familiar with the battlefield, like someone who knows clearly who is a true companion and who is a shadow disguised as a friend. You will no longer hand over your keys to deceitful hands. You will know how to protect what I have entrusted to you. You will know when to speak and when to remain silent. For in silence lies sharp discernment. In observation there is maturity, and in the waiting there is a deep anchoring of the new season. Archangel Michael is not only clearing the path, but he is also building walls. He is standing guard at the entrance of your new journey. No one may step in without the seal. No one may follow you without first being refined. Many will not understand why you have drawn boundaries, why your words are fewer, why you no longer share as you once did. They will think you have changed, and they are right. You have changed. You are no longer one of the former seasons. You no longer need noise to be known. You no longer need applause to feel loved. You no longer need a crowd to feel worthy. Heaven has trained you to understand that your value is not found in praise, but in obedience. Faithfulness in silence, wisdom in waiting, strength in gentleness. This is the new language of this season. Now, offer me your heartfelt prayer. Say these words. Lord, today I bow in silence, my heart open before your word. I no longer doubt, and I am no longer afraid. I acknowledge that my name has been called aloud in the throne room of heaven. Therefore, I welcome the presence of the messenger from above. I receive the spiritual transformation you have prepared for me. Please open the eyes of my soul so I will not miss this moment. Guard me against all distractions and hindrances. I say to you, here I am, Lord. I am ready, Lord, the one who has sent Michael to guard the path before me. I thank you for not abandoning me in the night. The dreams, the whispers in my soul, they are no longer uncertain shadows, but the echo of destiny drawing near. I pray, give me a spirit of discernment, that I may recognize the footsteps of the messenger, that I will not doubt when the confirmation arrives, and that I may boldly step into the ascension you have prepared for me. Lord, I once felt invisible. I once thought I had been forgotten, but now your word burns like fire within me. I realize that silence was not absence, it was sacred preparation. I surrender to your plan. I receive the decree and the judgment from heaven, not to destroy me, but to protect me. Grant me steadfastness, that I may not be shaken amidst the movement that is now taking place in the spirit realm. Lord, I pray over my mind. Purify every trace of doubt. Shatter every lie the enemy once planted in my heart. I declare I am no longer the one bearing the burden of rejection. I am chosen, set apart, and marked for a divine operation from heaven. Let me stand firm in this hour, and may nothing and no one steal my inheritance again. Lord Jehovah, I ask that you guard the door of my home as you have promised. Place angels around my dwelling and anoint every room as a mark of divine visitation. If anyone comes who is not sent by you, sever every access they might seek. But if it is the messenger you have appointed, let my soul recognize the peace that follows, and do not let fear turn me away from what rightfully belongs to me. Lord, I pray for wisdom from heaven to descend upon me in this very hour. When the faces around me begin to reveal their true nature, when the pretenders are unmasked, grant me the grace to remain in sacred silence. Do not let me be drawn into meaningless conflict. Give me eyes that discern, a heart that forgives, and a mind awake enough to perceive the spiritual storm you are already calming on my behalf. Lord, I ask that you prepare my heart to receive revelation. If the messenger comes in a form I do not expect, help me not to reject it. If truth is unveiled in a way that wounds me, please bring your healing. If someone I once trusted proves unworthy, grant me the courage to release them. I choose to trust the authority of heaven over the opinions of men. Lord, I ask that what has long been buried in darkness be brought into the light of truth. Rekindle every prayer I once forgot, every dream I once buried, and every promise I was once too afraid to hope for. Breathe life upon what seemed dead. Restore my voice. Return to me the original identity you wrote for me in the book of eternity. Lord, I do not ask for perfection, but I ask for courage. Teach me to walk in the light of truth, even if it brings tears to my eyes. Help me not to return to the cycles that have already been broken. Grant me strength to protect the child in my household, the one who watches my life as a spiritual example. Let my life be living proof of your faithfulness, my beloved child. If these words reached the quiet places of your heart, it is because I meant them just for you. This is not the end of our time together. It is just the beginning. Each time you return here, you open your heart to more of my presence, more of my peace, more of the love you were created to live in. This channel is not just a collection of messages. It is a doorway through which I continue to speak life into you. So come back often. Subscribe now and turn on your notifications so you never miss the moment I whisper to your soul again. And if this message brought you hope, share it with someone else who needs it. You may be the very light I send into their darkness. Together, we will build a community of healing hearts, lifted spirits, and unwavering faith. I am always here, and I will be waiting every time you press play. Until then, remember this: you are seen, you are safe, you are mine. Amen.